Passover is coming, and I think y'all need to know what that's all about. So first of all, it is the most fundamental event to happen. Well, actually, there's a lot of fundamental events. It is definitely the most fundamental event to happen in Jewish history. It is the birth of the Jewish nation, and with that birth comes a lot of pain. Now, if you're thinking, oh, here he goes with the Jews are the chosen people stuff, let me just tell you that there are times that I wish, for once, he would choose someone else, all right? So here's the story. A long time ago, 3,800 years ago to be precise, there was a dude, Abraham, who discovered monotheism. You have to understand that at the time, it was a radical idea. I mean, there was a God for everything you could think of, literally. So monotheism had a pretty tough crowd. Anyway, we have a lot to get through, so let's speed this up. So Abraham has Isaac, Isaac has Jacob, and Jacob has a bunch of kids. 12 to be precise. Jacob played favorites with Joseph, who was the second youngest, and out of jealousy, the brothers sold Joseph to a band of Arabs who took him down to Egypt. And then they told their father that he was devoured by a wild beast. Whew. Moving right along. So now, for the sake of keeping things short and your attention, let's just skip to the part where Pharaoh discovers that Joseph can interpret dreams after he has a dream about cows and wheat stalks. By the way, Joseph was in prison for a scandal he was framed for doing, of which he was totally innocent, I think. Depends who you ask. He stands before Pharaoh and tells Pharaoh that the meaning of his dream is that there will be 7 years of hunger after 7 years of plenty, and he needs to start preparing for it now. Pharaoh immediately elects Joseph to be in charge of all that, and right there, from being an inmate in prison, Joseph is now the most powerful man in the ancient world, second to Pharaoh. God can do anything. Joseph is now stacked with food as the famine hits, and that forces his family to settle in Egypt and reuniting him with his father after not seeing him for 20 years or something. Anyway, time passes, Joseph dies, a new pharaoh ascends to the throne, and the Jews are multiplying like crazy. The Egyptians are scared about the Jews outnumbering them, so they convince Pharaoh to enslave the Jews, and thus begins the Jewish slavery in Egypt. Now, to keep things short, Moses is chosen by God, by a bush that was on fire or something, to be the one to take the Jews out of Egypt after they cried out to the Lord to save them. So Moses stands before Pharaoh and says, "Let my people glow." Just kidding, he didn't say that. Pharaoh would have been like, huh? Who's this guy? He told Pharaoh to let the Jews go in the name of the Lord. And then for some reason, there was a showdown about whose God is more powerful with like staffs turning into snakes and stuff. So God's got to show off now. In short, God decimates Egypt with 10 plagues and a bunch of other miracles, and Pharaoh finally lets the Jews go. The end. Just kidding, it's not the end. It's actually kind of the beginning. Pretty much as soon as the Jews leave, the Egyptians have buyer's remorse or something and regret letting them go. So they pursue them towards the Red Sea, where God makes another miracle and splits the sea, and the Jews walk right through, and as soon as they get to the other side, the sea closes in on the Egyptians and they are gone. No more Egyptians. What happens next will blow you away. God is finally ready to make the Jewish people his nation. And so at Mount Sinai, God reveals himself to an estimated 3 million human beings, otherwise known as national prophecy, in the words of Rabbi Kellerman. I'll try to include a link about that talk down below. It's fascinating. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, so for the sake of keeping this short, let's talk about matzah for a sec. It is the unleavened bread. Story goes that the Jews were in such a rush to leave Egypt that the bread that they were in the middle of baking did not have time to rise. That's what Nissim Black is referring to in his song.
I climb, but I fall flat like bread with no leaven.
Bread with no leaven. Flat. That's what this stuff is all about. Which is eaten at the Seder night, along with a bunch of other things commemorating the historical and meaningful event, which will take place on the 15th day of the Jewish month of Nisan, which this year is Saturday, March 27th at nightfall. At which point you could expect that most Jewish people you know will find themselves at that time. And by the way, it's a crazy night. You got this Kyra thing going on, which I can't get into right now. You have 4 cups of wine, which I can't get into right now. You have the 3 matzahs, which I can't get into right now. You have the 4 sons and the 4 questions and the songs and poems, which I can't get into. If you want me to do a video on those things, let me know and I'll see if I have time before Passover. Anyway, happy Passover. Or happy Pesach. By the way, just one more thing here. As for eating the unleavened bread stuff, otherwise known as matzah, so not only do we have to eat that stuff, we are not allowed to eat anything leavened at all. Think about that. All breads, crackers, snacks, cereal with grains in them. Not only that, we're not allowed to possess, find, or own any of that stuff throughout the duration of Passover. We are turning over our homes, cleaning it out, and burning all things leavened prior to Passover. Some people start right after Purim. For more on Purim, keep scrolling my stuff. You'll find it. By the way, Passover is always in the spring. Hence, spring cleaning. Happy Passover.